Hey YouTube, Jeremy here, and today I just got this in the mail, and I thought I'd show you what was in it. Now, I apologize, I had filmed the original unboxing, and then I realized that it had my name on the side of the box here, and there's no sense broadcasting that to the whole world. So, anyways, this box came from a company called CKK Industries. I believe their website is knifekits.com or something like that, but I'll put a link in the description. It is a great place to buy all things knife making and Kydex sheath making. One thing I really wanted was Kydex foam. What I was using before, I mentioned in a previous video, was just this sleeping pad. This was like a military surplus, Canadian military surplus, and it worked good. I put several layers of this and then sandwich it between some 2x6s. But the one thing I found with it is that it doesn't really resist heat very well. As you can see, every time you did one, it would kind of melt this, and it's a lot less dense there than on the sides where it wasn't hot. Even it kind of melt the cells together in places. So I figure if I'm going to build a proper Kydex press, I'm going to get some proper foam for it. And what I have for my press, I'll show you real quick, is just 2 pieces of 1/2-inch plate. And these are 6 inches by 12 inches. And basically I'm going to get some heavy hinges. I don't know if I'll use 2 or 1. And I'll probably just still use a clamp, just a wood clamp. And basically I have my foam in there. And then you just stick your piece in there when it's ready. Do that, close it, and then clamp it down. That'll be a project probably I'm going to build next week. And I'll do a video of building that as well. But I thought if I'm going to invest the time in making one, I want to get some decent foam, press foam for it. And so they sell this, and this foam is specific for making Kydex presses, and it's 1 inch thick, and it's a little rubbery. It's kind of more like a rubber than a sleeping pad. Is more like a plasticky kind of stuff, and apparently this stuff is very heat resistant, so you can use this over and over and over again, and it should last a lot longer than a sleeping pad. So I got enough that one of these sheets will make the whole press for me, and then in the future if I need another one, I've got extras there, or if I wanted to build another press for some reason. But on top of that, I also ordered some more Kydex. I still have quite a bit, but I don't know, when I get into building stuff, the idea of running out of materials just freaks me out. So when I get into hobbies like this, I'll have lots of materials available. And so I ordered 3 sheets. These are 1 foot by 2 foot of 60 thou, and 3 sheets, sorry, this is the 80 thou, and 3 sheets of 60 thou. Now I also have 103 thou, that's just the thickness in thousandths of an inch. And the 60 is good for smaller knives. Give you an example. This was one of the very first knives I made, and this was just from a file when I decided I wanted to try making knives. This was a Nicholson file, and I wanted to build a simple garden knife. And so I annealed it, just heated up, softened the metal. I worked it. This one I filed the bevel with a hand file. And before I did that, I actually hammer marked it just to try and give it a vintage look. It wasn't overly successful, but it retempered really well, and it holds an edge like fantastic. It's a great little knife. It's got Babinga scales. These pins were, I don't know, some type of a rod we used at work, and they're throwing them out, so I'd save all the offcuts. So this knife was all in about 10 bucks to make, and I wanted something that I could take at the garden, you know, for harvesting your plants and not worry about, like, if I lost this, if it get rained on. This was left outside once and it's got rust on it, but I didn't really care. And at the time I just took an old leather jacket I was throwing out, and I made just a little protective sleeve for it. And so for something like this is what I'm going to be using this thin stuff for. Not necessarily you're going to carry all the time, but it's silly to have a knife. I used to just wrap this in a bandana, and that's a bit silly. I've processed a few ducks with this. It's actually a nice size and shape for that too. But I just thought it's time I put a decent scabbard on it. This one's doing the same thing that my Bark River one's doing. Kind of a useless setup, but it did the job for time being. And one thing with knife making is that you end up having a lot of practice knives laying around, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of nice. This is another one. This was the first knife I built with my belt grinder, and incidentally the first Kydex sheath I'd tried, and I think that shows quite obviously. It's pretty ugly. This knife I use every single day for processing my kindling for my wood stove, and this one is 01 tool steel. Like I said, this was the first grind I did after I made my belt grinder, But this knife has turned out good. I've been beating the crap out of this thing for like, it's probably been about a year now. And you know, I can take 2x4s. My neighbor dumps off scrap 2x4s for me for my stove. And little ones like this, one swing and it splits them wide open because it's a 1/4 inch. And at the same time, this thing holds an edge really well. I use this for all my fine shavings. The jimping I just did with a file, and then this is the first time I tried G10, and then I put a blue spacer in the handle there as well. Kind of I wasn't ever making this knife for somebody. This was just for me to test, to beat up, and so far I'm quite impressed. I think it's got a really good temper. The edge retention is fantastic, and I haven't broke it yet. And I've dropped it, I've abused it, and really chopped stuff with it to make sure it's a good strong blade, and I'm quite happy with it. And who knows, maybe in the future I'll make something similar to this. And then I guess I'll just show you real quick, getting on with the hammer mark that I had tried here. This was my second attempt. This is a knife I just finished. This is a 1-tool steel as well. Excellent steel to work with. And I basically took this in my acetylene torch, heated it up, and I really went to town hammer marking it. And I'm quite happy with the way it turned out. I even got like all the roughness around the handle. And this one I've meant to be a little Skinner / neck knife. Now I haven't put the edge on it yet because I want to make my leather sheath first. I'm just waiting to get some leather for that. Again, this is a Babinga scales. Sorry, this might not be Babinga. I don't know what that is. It's a lot redder. But anyways, this one is Babinga for sure. And 1 brass pin. And I kind of designed this just like a nice size for skinning game, like a deer. And I think it should work quite well. It's got a nice belly to it. It's got blade surface the whole way, and then also for holding like this. You know, I think this is going to be a really useful knife for processing game. So I need to finish this one up once I get the sheath for it, and then I'll put an edge on it, and that'll be good to go. But anyways, back to the topic at hand. Show you some of the fasteners I also got with this. And this is you know, you can buy Kydex at certain craft stores. Like we've got a Tandy leather store in Calgary, and I can buy Kydex there, but they don't have a lot for Chicago screws and different types of belt locks and stuff like that. And so what else I had ordered up was Chicago screws. These are basically, they've got a post that's threaded, a female, and then obviously a male screw part. And you know, if you don't have something like that, you're doing ugly crap like this. This, like I say, I've never actually worn this. I don't think I'll ever wear it. I just made this sheath to protect it. For like 6 months, it just sat on my workbench, and I thought that's kind of dumb. We should at least put something over it. But these are nice because you get a nice smooth surface on both sides of the material, and you still get that threaded fasteners rather than just a rivet. Rivets work good too, but you know, if you put these on with a little bit of blue Loctite, that thing is not coming apart. And so I ordered a whole bunch of these. I had a starter kit, and you go through them quickly and you kind of panic. It's like, what if I run out of material? So I ordered a whole bunch, lots of different sizes, and should be handy to have around. And then I also picked up these. Now these are tech locks. I have never ever held one even before, but this is more of a tactical type thing, I think. I'm not even sure how they open up. But anyways, they sell this kit, and oh, okay, so you slip that open, and then you pinch this together, it looks like. Oh, okay, and open it up like that. You see you've got your scale of mounting positions, and lots of different options to configure these. You can do them like, you know, if you want to do a sideways carry, vertical carry, and a lot of people make their sheaths so that these holes will line up in a bunch of different ways. So you could actually carry it like this and then change it to this if you want. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to play with these and have these. You can order these with or without the hardware. I ordered these with the hardware, and I ordered up 3 large ones and 3 small ones. And like I say, that company, that's CKK or knifekits.com, whatever, I'll put the link down in the video below, but they are a fantastic company. Their orders ship the same day. Like you order something at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you've got your tracking number, whether it be USPS or FedEx, however you ship it. And it's, you know, I ordered one thing, I think it was on a Monday at about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I had it Wednesday, it was here. And this was coming from Georgia, I believe. So there's a smaller version of the cam lock, or the tech lock. I know there's different styles of these, but I'm not sure. I'm just getting into this. I thought they'd be kind of fun to have to play around with. But anyways, I just thought I would show you this little video of some new stuff that I got in. And we're going to start messing around doing more kydex and building more stuff. And I'll show you that too. The next video I'll probably do is building a kydex press. And then I'm hoping I can get some better results on my kydex than the previous video I did with my Bark River sheath that I made. So anyways, that's all for now. Just thought I'd show you this stuff, this fun stuff, and give you the information if you are looking to get kydex, fasteners, clips, and stuff like that. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Cheers. Okay guys, I realized after watching that video that maybe it wasn't entirely clear what a Chicago screw was. That's a Chicago screw. It's two parts. One threads into the other, and the advantage is that you get a nice button surface on both sides. Nice smooth, especially for sheaths. They carry well, they'll slide against clothing. And two pieces. One of them has an internal thread on the post and then just a regular screw that goes into it. So just thought I should clear that up. This is a Chicago screw. Cheers.